close the door and turn out the lights, please. And away we go. Welcome to this Being in the Presence meditation. I'm Anne Ahokangas. Join me in consciousness. Allow your thoughts to be set aside for a few minutes. As we center together in the presence, bring your focus to your heart center and allow the words that I speak to be the words of your own heart. I will continue in the first person and present tense, remembering there is only oneness. Only presence being me, right here, right now. I take a moment now to just breathe and relax. I am in the presence, and I remember there is enough. I am an individualized expression of the whole, and the whole is all there is. It is the source of all. It is divine presence. It is spirit. And in this awareness, I know that I live, breathe, and have my being in this benevolent, ever-expanding, abundant presence. I am enough. There is enough. I have all I need right now for my perfect life. In presence, I am equipped with the necessary ingredients for the best life ever. Today, as I allow the awareness of divine presence to flow through me, I feel so good. I feel surrounded by beauty. From this beautiful place, I experience the overflowing goodness in my life, and I see it everywhere. I know I am whole, healthy, and complete. And today I choose to experience it fully. I also know there is more than enough of anything I choose. I know this to be true. I am worthy. I am blessed. I allow and accept this truth now. I am part of the divine. and so therefore I gratefully accept my divine inheritance. I accept and see the good in all of life. I always have enough to share and spare. I am a perfect example of what is possible with God. I allow my heart to fill with gratitude. I say thank you. I know Spirit in me as me knows the way and the how. I am the presence. I am here to realize that I am presence, being me. So I release all thoughts as I sit here in the stillness. There's just presence, stillness. I continue to relax, releasing all thinking. I am just present. The more I practice the presence, the more effective and creative my thoughts become. In the awareness of presence, I have access to unconditional love, intelligence, and power, which is presence. Here and now, I let go of all ideas of doing in my life and rest in this time of being, of awareness. I feel the expansiveness of this stillness. Here, I am totally free. I am a point of consciousness within the oneness of presence. Here there is no form. There is no time. There is no need for anything. No need for the future. Everything is already complete. I release the past. I release the future. And I open to an awareness of myself that is complete and whole. Presence is already complete, and I am already complete in presence. In this awareness of presence, I release all fears and concerns. I am here, relaxed and alert at the same time. And I realize that this alertness does not require any tension. And at this moment, I know I am so much more than this body. than this mind. I am presence itself. Right now, I realize I am pure consciousness. Consciousness is my identity. It is light. Consciousness is the light. I take a moment to relax a bit more and just continue to be present without any expectations. And if thoughts arise, I observe them like clouds drifting by. Take a few moments now to just be, and I'll watch the time and ring a bell when it's time to bring your attention back. Take a deep, relaxing breath now and just be. I bring my attention now into the inner body. I feel the aliveness inside my body. I am present with every cell of the body. And as we finish this meditation, you may want to sit a little longer in the stillness. And when you're ready, start moving again. Start doing things, and know that you are carrying the presence. And with a deep breath, I release and I let go, knowing it is already done. Please join with me in affirming, and so it is.
case no one's told you lately, do you know how much you matter? Do you know that you are loved? Do you know you made a difference in the lives you've touched? All the times you felt unworthy in the darkness of your soul, and all the lies you told yourself, just let go, let go. 'Cause you matter. You matter. I can't imagine all you've been through, 'cause I've not walked in your shoes. But you will always have my heart, and I see you. You matter. You matter. Feel it all release. It's there you'll find your peace. You'll find your peace. Do you know how much you matter? Do you know that you are loved? Do you know you've made a difference in the lives you've touched? 'Cause you matter. You matter. You matter. You matter. You matter. You matter. Sitting in the backseat of my car, strumming on my old guitar, singing songs with my old friend, and thinking that a year ago it was almost the end. Still feel the echoes of the day I got the news.
Okay.
call my name, and I'll be, and I'll finally see my Father's face, stand before love. His amazing grace, and I'll have a second chance to laugh and love, to sing and dance, and I know it's a sweet and precious gift, a second chance to live, a second chance.
L.R. Nost says, "Do not be dismayed by the brokenness of this world. All things break, and all things can be mended, not with time, as they say, but with intention."
So go, love intentionally, extravagantly, unconditionally. The broken world waits in darkness for the light that is you.
Maybe we have a sign-up sheet of different people performing and maybe interjecting.
So many crying in the darkness, anger and hate are building walls. In the shadow of the heartless, blind to what connects us all, this broken world awaits the light that is you, a light that is you.
We're all looking for a savior who'll turn the darkness into dawn. But when we join hands with our neighbor, we become that beacon shining on. This broken world awaits the light that is you. The light, you are the light. We are not entering the tomb. We are exiting the womb. Find your wisdom in the silence. That's where you'll find your voice. When we choose kindness over violence, love becomes our only choice. This broken world awaits the light. We are the light. You and me now. We are the light. Keep shining on. We are the light. Shining on. We are not entering the tomb. We are exiting the womb.
We're on.
Welcome to Unity, where we explore living everyday spirituality. Grateful that you are here today. I am Agnes, I am your presider for today. We will begin by dedicating this song to the Hamilton Regional Indian Center, whose vision is creating change that empowers urban or Aboriginal people, and the mission is to provide the urban Aboriginal people with the tools to achieve a balanced, holistic lifestyle. And now let's start with the song of the month, If I Had a Hammer.
If I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning, I'd hammer in the evening, all over this land, all over this land. I'd hammer out danger, I'd hammer out warning, I'd hammer in love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land. If I had a bell, I'd ring it in the morning, I'd ring it in the evening, all over this land. I'd ring out danger, I'd ring out warning, I'd ring about love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land. If I had a song, I'd sing it in the morning, I'd sing it in the evening, all over this land, all over this land. I'd sing out danger, I'd sing out warning, I'd sing about love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land. I've got a hammer, and I've got a bell, and I've got a song to sing all over this land. It's the hammer of justice, it's the bell of freedom, it's a song about love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land. Hammer of justice, it's the bell of freedom, it's a song about love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land, all over this land, all over this land. Woo!
Thanks, Emilio. And now, to lead us on our spiritual journey, Rev Ann Awokangas.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. Welcome here in the sanctuary, and welcome for those of you at home. I'd love to have a full screen here, please, Julian. I started the beginning of the summer with showing you that I am supporting First Nations artists with the garments that I'm wearing. So this one is by Sharifa Marsden, and she's a Anishinaabe. And you can get this and many more things that are First Nations items from Mox and More. And the woman who owns the company is a First Nations woman. Her name is Shirley. And I really love to support, and I love to feel good. Some of you at home said I should stand up and model it, and I figured this picture is a better way of you seeing the back and the front, rather than me just sitting down. So welcome if you're here for the first time. If you're here online for the first time, why don't you pop a little note either in the live chat or in the comment section and let us know that you're here. So let's begin with my favorite thing to do every day, and that's to get centered in remembering that there is only oneness. There is only the Creator, and that as I center, I remember that all is well. So if it's comfortable, say this with me. I believe life is good, God is all there is, and love is the only power. I align myself with the power within to create my best life. And let's anchor this with a Karen Drucker song called We Are the Ones. One unity or unity one?
This is a new one for me. Sing it with me. We are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are the ones who will make a difference. We are the ones who will change the world. We are the ones, we are the ones, we are. I've been feeling like I can't make a difference. I've been feeling like there ain't no use. Feeling tired and a little unconscious, coming up with every kind of excuse, till I realize it's not all up to me. When we join together, we shape our destiny to see a world where we are living as one. It can be, it shall be, it will be done. We are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are the ones, we are. Make a difference. We are the ones who will change the world. We are the ones, we are. Yes, we are the ones, we are. No one else gonna make the changes, no savior gonna drop from the sky. Nothing left to do but to wake up, 'cause it's really up to you and I to take it one step at a time. Stand together with your hand in mine, to then we see the world that we've been dreaming about. We need it now, the time is now, there is no doubt. We are the ones that we've been waiting for. Yes, we are the ones who will make a difference. We are the ones who will change the world. Yes, we are the ones, we are. Sing, we are the ones, we are. I am the one that I've been waiting for. I am the one who will make that difference. I am the one who will change the world. I am the one, I am the one, I am, yes, we are the ones, we are, yes, we are the ones, we are, you are the one, you are the one, you are the ones, we are the ones, we are.
It's such a nice song.
Thanks for the song, and you're the open. And now
Are you on?
I'm not completely with it.
Okay, you're not the only one.
And now, the absolute word, non-resistance. With a loving heart, I practice non-resistance. I may not always agree with another person's opinion. During those times, I focus on the idea of non-resistance, an acceptance of what is without judgment or condemnation. Applying spiritual discernment, I acknowledge my opinion is just one viewpoint. Continuing to discern, I realize that resisting a situation I don't like or trying to change the perspective of another does not lead to peaceful solutions. Instead, I center myself in my awareness of my true nature. I recognize the truth that there is only oneness, and shift my thinking and actions to reflect that knowing. External events and situations have no effect on the calm peace of my soul. With a loving heart, I accept what is. Through the practice of non-resistance, I learned to look for the gifts in every experience. I move through life with patience, love, and non-resistance.
Take a look at the person next to you. Say God loves you and I love you too. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. Say, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together, we come together, in the name of love. Now look at the person next to you, hello. Say, I recognize the God in you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Now lift your voice and repeat after me. Sing, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. From every walk of life, every creed and color, friendship reunite in honor of the God in each other. Take a look at the person next to you. Say namaste, I bow to you. Yeah, feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. Here we go. We come together. We come together, we come together, in the name of love. We come together, we come together, we come together, in the name of love. We come together, we come together, we come together, in the name of love. Oh, come together. We come together in the name of love. Oops.
And we come together in non-judgment and love. Today's topic that I'd like for us to look at is you and me create society. And what does that mean? And I did a lot of research around it, and one of the interesting comments that was made was, isn't it fabulous that somehow we were all able to come together and allow women to vote, and
all kinds of things that they just make so much sense but weren't possible before. I can't even think of other things right now, but there is so much. What's that?
I had to call the fire department this morning because my carbon monoxide thing went off, and 2 out of the 3 firefighters that showed up were women.
Wow, 2 out of the 2 out of 3 firefighters showed up and they were women. Yes, there's just so much change in our society and so many things that today we take for granted that somehow we managed to come together to make these new rules and new ways of being together. So I'd like to look a little bit more into that. First of all, our relationships with people is what has created and continues to create societies. And it's really important to understand that we're part of that decision-making process. The agreements we make consciously and those we agree to by default, which are many, are what affect and govern how we interact and relate to one another. I am a powerful catalyst of love within society. Do you want to say that with me? I'm a powerful catalyst of love within society. You know, I go to the pool. It's the Wayne Gretzky pool in Brantford, and I go there 5 mornings a week for about an hour. And some of the people that are they're sort of like a walking lane, but you can swim if you want to. Part of it is deep and part of it is sort of up to here. Some of the women and men have been coming there for 30 years, and so they know each other. So I'm like this, who is this person who has kind of showed up in the midst? And it's really amazing. There is one woman who, and the reason I show a bathing suit in this image is there's this one woman who is 91. And she kind of is the smiling, happy glue that holds everybody together. And she finds out about everyone new that shows up or where the ones are that didn't show up and tells everybody else so that we kind of have an idea. And I don't know whether she can afford it or not, or whether she's frugal. I have no idea. But her bathing suit was almost translucent. She had been wearing it for about 2 years. And I don't know if you've ever been in chlorine, but how chlorine eats away at the fabric. And when she'd get out of the pool, it literally, like, it was a pale pink bathing suit, and it was literally like she's naked. And I guess the other ladies were thinking, oh, we have to get her a new bathing suit, but she's so lovely, and we don't want to hurt her feelings. And so behind the scenes, they got together, and they figured out a strategy, and they found out, sort of without her noticing, what her size was. And then someone said to her, I have this bathing suit I bought for myself and it doesn't fit, and I thought it might fit you. What size are you? And she said, well, I'm a size 12. Oh, perfect, this is a size 12. Would you like to try it? And if it fits you, would you like to have it? And so she's in the change room with all these ladies, and she comes out, and she's got her new bathing suit on. She goes, it fits like a glove. She says, great, so you can have it. Now, I heard about this because I'm in the pool with her on another day, and she's wearing this new bathing suit. And I already knew the story, but again, to allow her the opportunity to share, I said to her, you're wearing a new bathing suit. So she proceeds to tell the story about how she understood that they were kind of feeling sorry or whatever for her. They must have been, and somehow they came up with this plan. So like she knew all along that they had been scheming, but she played along anyway, and she delightfully is wearing this new bathing suit now. And I thought about how we create community and how caring people are about others. And all it takes is to have something in common. And so for us there, it's being in the pool is our common ground. And wherever we go, whatever is our common ground is our opportunity to create community, to create a society, and to show our love and our appreciation. So something I'd like to cover, and I think this is so vitally important, and this came from some training that I took on peacemaking circles, which originated from the First Nations people, where they had a talking stick, and where they still use a talking stick or a feather of some sort, and they sit in a circle and they communicate. And before I go into this 7 core assumptions, I'd like to tell you a little story. It was about a man that my husband and I met when we were in Red Deer, Alberta. We were there to speak at one of the spiritual centers, and he was a truck driver that brought alcohol up to the north. And so he had to meet with the band at wherever he was going, the band leaders, every time that he went up, just to find out, what they needed and negotiations and things like that. And this one time they're in this lodge where they're meeting, and they're not in a circle at this point, but a kind of argument comes up. And right away, one of the elders gets up and goes over to the wall to pick up the talking piece. And just in him doing that, the man said, everybody stopped and recognized that they were not being community, recognized that they weren't being loving and understanding. And he didn't have to actually take the talking piece. It just was a culture that they had created, that if we can't agree, then we're going to come together in this circle and we're going to find a way through this rather than fighting. And that has always sat with me. And I've done all of my classes now in a talking circle way where everyone has an opportunity to speak. And if they don't have something to say, they can pass. But that everybody listens and the people who are speaking have the opportunity to speak. And I believe in our classes that I don't have your answers, you have the wisdom within you. And so there's no right or wrong answers either, that you have the opportunity to say what's on your heart, to say what you know to be true at that time. And that might change with the dialogue that goes on. So what do we believe to be true? This would be, I'll say me, what do I believe to be true? And you can see whether you agree with this or not. So the true self in everyone is good, wise, and always there, always present. The true self is in everyone, and it is in you. It's in all the young people, all the people who do not so great things as well as great things. It's in people everywhere. The nature of the true self is wise and kind and just and good and powerful. And that core self of each of us can't be destroyed, no matter what goes on in our lives, no matter what kind of history or events or anything that goes on with us. It remains good, just, kind, wise, and powerful. So no matter what we've done in the past and no matter what has happened to us in the past, this core self remains good, wise, powerful, like it was the day that we were born. And so in spite of what may have happened, in spite of what you think of what has happened in your life, that there is a part of you, and it's the greater part of who you are, that is awesome and beautiful and powerful and wonderful. There's a difference between doing and being, and that's really, you've heard people say, I really don't like your behavior, but I do love you. And that's the idea of the difference between doing and being. That what we do is not who we are. We mistake the roles that we play and the emotions that we feel as our true self sometimes when we get caught up in things, but that is not ultimately who we are. And I hope that as we come together as a spiritual community that we're more and more often reminded. You got a little sheet today, and for those of you at home, I'll post it below this video once it's been recorded, on some of the symptoms of being spiritually awakened or starting to spiritually awaken. But how we behave or feel is not the same as who we are. Our core selves may not always be reflected in our actions or our feelings. Beneath the actions and masks we display is a deeper, healthier self. So if you think that there's just no more chance for a person, perhaps, that you've given up on them, or maybe you've given up on yourself, don't. Because there is something there. There is the spirit of the divine, a sacred core that is who you are. So let's start by helping people tune into the goodness and wisdom of their core self. And how might we do that? Maybe it's seeing a grumpy face and smiling, but genuinely smiling, looking them in the eye and recognizing, hi, I see you. Or something else. 2, the world is deeply interconnected. And this took me a while to understand. I grew up a little bit sort of intuitive and psychic, and I would have insights that someone wanted to talk to me or something like that, and when I'd call them, they'd say, oh, I was thinking of you. So that was my first glimpse of how we're interconnected, but I thought it was just the people that were close to me. But there was a time where an old boss that I had was actually cleaning the eaves troughs, and he was in his, I guess, mid-50s at this point, and he's not typically that kind of a guy that does that kind of work, and he was up on the roof and he's cleaning the eaves troughs of the leaves, and he fell down and he broke his arm, and he was a hairdresser, and back in those days that was what I did for a living as well, as a competitor of his. And I felt a pain in my arm at 10 o'clock on a Saturday morning, and I didn't know what it was. Like, it hurt like crazy. An hour and a half later, he called me and said, I'm going to be out of commission for 8 weeks because I broke my arm, my left arm, and he was left-handed. And would you take care of my clients as long as you don't steal them forever? And so I had another really personal example of this interconnectedness. And maybe you have too, and not paid attention to it. Or maybe you have. And also that our actions have consequences because of this interactiveness. What goes around comes around. You've heard of that. And from Jeremiah, as ye sow, so shall ye reap. Could I have full screen here? Albert Einstein is so brilliant, was so brilliant. A human being is part of the whole called by us universe. We experience ourselves, our thoughts and feelings as separated from the rest, a kind of optical illusion of our consciousness. Our task must be to free ourselves from this prison by widening our circle of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature. And I would imagine, because he was doing scientific work, that his work wasn't always interacting with people, and that at some point he recognized that compassion was one of the ways that we can really connect with others. Native people say we are all related. They mean human beings are related to all living creatures and all of the natural world. So everywhere we look in all kinds of cultures, we're seeing this same theme. So it must have some kind of validity. You can believe me or not, but I would invite you to consider, how would you be able to tell that we're interconnected? What might be your way of evaluating that? Traditional African society uses the word Ubuntu to express the idea that each of us is fundamentally a part of the whole. I am because we are. There are no throwaway kids or people. There aren't. Sometimes it may have felt like it would be really nice to just, but there aren't. And as we show love and compassion, I think that that can really bring it out because it already is within someone. We can't kick out or get rid of anything without literally throwing away a part of ourselves. Because even this idea of pointing your finger at somebody, there are 3 fingers pointing back. There is always something that is a part of us that is affected by our judgments, our love, anything that we put our focus on. By excluding someone, we harm ourselves and our community. And it really is something that I would encourage you to do. How can you be more inclusive? What might you do to be more inclusive? And maybe you don't have the answer for that, but in asking the question, maybe something will happen this week and you'll have an opportunity to choose, am I going to be inclusive or not? That's how it works for me anyway. We're connected. What we do to others, we do to ourselves. We may not always realize this is happening because it just is, I don't know. Are you unconscious sometimes during the day? I mean, I do things roadly. Have you ever driven somewhere and you think, oh, I missed like a whole pile of streets. How did I get there? Or Randy and I are coming here on a Sunday and we pick up Jean on the way and she's halfway from Brantford to here. And sometimes the car goes right past that turnoff because the car's used to going straight rather than turning. I mean, that's how unconscious we can be. And it's an invitation to be more conscious in everything that we do. Here's another full screen, please. Buddha said, do not overlook negative actions merely because they are small. However small a spark may be, it can burn down a haystack as big as a mountain. Do not overlook tiny good actions either, thinking they are of no benefit. Even tiny drops of water in the end will fill a huge vessel. I love that. And that's true. You as an individual, one by one thought at a time, one action at a time, makes a difference. It does. 3, all human beings have a deep desire to be in good relationships. Would you agree with that? Yeah, there's nothing nicer than that. All people want to love and be loved and want to be respected, even when they're not behaving well. And I think about little kids, for instance. First they go, "Mommy, Daddy," quietly. They get no response. "Mommy, Daddy." They still get no response. "Mommy, Daddy." They still get no response. Then maybe they pull their pants off, or they have a tantrum in the middle of the floor. What we have taught them is that they need to escalate to get attention. And so there are people in the world who just figure, well, why go through all those stages? Let's just go to the escalated form. And so if we can recognize that that is just something they have learned, and that if we can be attentive to those who are in our sphere of influence, that we can reverse that kind of behavior. We can reverse some of the things that have been going on in the news that we look at and say, how did someone ever get to the place where they would want to do something that bad? And that's how. It happens like the little drops of water in a bucket, a little at a time. And we can change it too. This may not be what they show in their behavior, particularly when they have not been loved or respected by others. They don't show that true self. And so to recognize and love them anyway, respect them anyway, find a way to reach them. And sometimes it's to just leave them be, because there isn't anything you can do in that moment, and to recognize that that's for you to do. At our core, we all desire to be in good relationships with others. Here's another one by Mother Teresa, full screen. There is much suffering in the world, physical, material, mental, but the greatest suffering is being lonely, feeling unloved, having no one. I have come more and more to realize that it is being unwanted that is the worst disease that any human being can ever experience. And I think about the word disease, and there's a cure for diseases, right? And so we can cure that loneliness by just recognizing that someone is there, looking at them in the eye, saying hello, or just acknowledging their existence. That can be the start to undoing the loneliness. You know, we often think of human nature as a problem. You know, we blame things on, oh, well, that's just human nature. But Margaret Wheatley says, human nature is a blessing, it's not a problem. We just need to work with it and learn how to work with it. It's like having muscles and learning how to get them to work in the best way they possibly can. We can start to focus on the good sides of human conduct. You know, to focus on what's going well. There's a management tool called the 5-Minute Manager, and what they recommend is that before you tell someone a correction, that you tell them how well they're doing. Because as soon as you do, tell them what they're doing well, then they're open to hear some of your constructive criticism. But if you start with what's negative, what happens to me anyways is I go, I don't hear anything else that you've said. Are you like that? Yeah. 4, all humans have gifts, and everyone is needed for what they bring. So if you've been thinking, what's my gift? I don't know what I have to bring. Just being you, just being who you are is enough. According to some indigenous teachings, each child is born with 4 unique gifts from Mother Earth. And I won't go into that. That's a whole other teaching. It's our opportunity and responsibility to recognize recognize that these unique gifts are there and to cultivate them. So what might be a gift that you have? Anybody want to call something out? Music. I see Margot there. Music. An open, loving heart. Beautiful smile. What is your gift? Maybe you have more than one. I think you do. All our gifts are vital to the well-being of the whole. It's a bit like, I think it was Diane actually who posted a picture of a puzzle she did, and one piece was missing. And she posted the picture with the missing piece, and then a few days later she had found the piece and put it in. And we're a bit like that missing piece. Sometimes we don't seem to be part of the whole, but we are. We're there somewhere. And the more that we show up as who we are, the better it is, the better life is. Look at nature. The diversity is the source of strength. Interdependence is essential for survival. I don't know if you recall a story, one of the parks was at Yellowstone, where they controlled something there. Wolves. The wolves. And all of a sudden, the ecosystem started to fall apart, and when they brought them back in, that things went back to normal. And so, you know, that piece of the puzzle made a huge difference. You might want to look that up, wolves in Yellowstone, and see if you can find that story. Every cell in our body is differentiated to perform a specialized function that contributes to the whole. This is as true for families as it is for the world. So you know the cells in our body. Have you ever had a little sliver, for instance? And it's like it's so small you can't even see it, but boy, can you ever feel it? It's like it makes a lot of noise. And it's the same kind of thing with us in the world. We can make a good noise, a loving noise, in our families, in our lives, in the world. Each of us alone does not have all the answers. That's the other thing. You might like to think you do, but let's be grateful for everyone and for all the gifts they bring. And if you don't know, be willing to ask. I know it's kind of common right now to just Google it, but maybe the person sitting right next to you has the answer that you've been waiting for. 5, everything we need to make positive change is already here. We don't have to wait for anyone. We sang about that a little bit this morning. Everything is here right now, from the wisdom within you, to the people around you, to the resources that are available to us. It's a matter of making a decision to say, this is what I'm looking for, and then be open for it to show up in some way. Another full screen from the Hopi elders in 2001. Gather yourselves, banish the word struggle from your vocabulary. All that we do now must be done in a sacred manner and in celebration. We are the ones we've been waiting for. Can you imagine doing everything you do in celebration rather than as though it's a task? Can you imagine how much more, first of all, fun it would be to do, including cleaning your toilet? If you could play your favorite song, la 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 la, you know, just a thought. Or get a cleaning lady and sing to her, or him. Everything we need to make positive change is already here. We have it within each of us, and we have it as we partner with others, as we co-create this life with each other. We're the creators of the world. And it's within our power to change it. So if you've been feeling powerless, you can only start with you and what you're willing to do and how much you're willing to open up to the possibilities. Start there. Don't worry about what's going on the other side of the world right now, because your worry is not going to help it. Be the best that you can be right here in your society, because the vibrations of who you are will be felt everywhere. Let's tap into the wisdom within and the creative energy of all of our human resources. We have so much potential together to create the world that we desire. We really do. And we're doing a pretty good job, I would say. We are the ones we've been waiting for. 6, human beings are holistic. So we are part of the whole, but we're also also complete as we are. The words health and whole come from the same root. Our minds, our bodies, emotions, and spirits are in all that we do. You can't separate it out. And you know, there are prosperity programs that are taught in spiritual centers where they say that even cleaning out your closet of stuff that you no longer need makes room for prosperity to come into your life. So if you have this attitude of needing to hang on to certain things, but just that attitude of hanging on means that you don't believe that there's more than enough for you if you were to let go. And so that's that idea of holistic interaction. To create solutions, let's use all parts of ourselves, our intellect, our emotions, our spirits, and body through art, storytelling, music, and movement. We had a birthday party here on Friday night, and we were singing Bridge Over Troubled Waters as one of the songs. And there was a phrase in there, come on, silver girl. And one of the silver girls in the room was dancing in the room. The only brave one to get up and dance. But I thought, you know, we're so shy to express ourselves, aren't we? And why is that? Don't worry about what someone else thinks. Just be a silver girl and dance. Isolating different groups within our society based on age, race, or social class isn't the answer, because they are us. And you know, there are many of us in this room who have grown up with differentiating different groups, and we're moving through that gradually. And I think we're doing a pretty good job. 7, the final one. We need practices to build habits of living from the core self. And what might those practices be? A grandfather from the Cherokee Nation was talking to his grandson. And this is a full screen here because it's a video. Julian?
Many of us have heard the Native American story of the two wolves. What we were not told, however, is that the modern version going around on the internet is not the original story that is passed down through Native American tribes. The original story is much different, fundamentally so, even in the lessons it teaches. This is the internet version you may have heard. An old Cherokee is teaching his grandson about life. "A fight is going on inside me," he said to the boy. "It is a terrible fight, and it is between two wolves. One is evil. He is anger, envy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, lies, false pride, superiority, and ego." He continued, "The other is good. He is joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, benevolence, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith. The same fight is going on inside of you, and inside of every other person too." The grandson thought about it for a minute, and then asked his grandfather, "Which wolf will win?" You might have heard the modern censored internet story ending like this. The old Cherokee simply replied, "The one you feed." In the Cherokee world, however, and in the original story of the two wolves that has been passed down through Native American tribes, the story ends this way. The old Cherokee simply replied, "If you feed them right, they both win," and the story goes on. You see, if I only choose to feed the white wolf, the black one will be hiding around every corner waiting for me to become distracted or weak and jump to get the attention he craves. He will always be angry and always fighting the white wolf. But if I acknowledge him, he is happy, and the white wolf is happy, and we all win. For the black wolf has many qualities: tenacity, courage, fearlessness, strong-willed, and great strategic thinking that I have need of at times and that the white wolf lacks. But the white wolf has compassion, caring, strength, and the ability to recognize what is in the best interest of all. You see, son, the white wolf needs the black wolf at his side. To feed only one would starve the other, and they will soon become uncontrollable. To feed and care for both means they will serve you well and do nothing that is not a part of something greater, something good, something of life, Feed them both, and there will be no more internal struggle for your attention. And when there is no battle inside, you can listen to the voices of deeper knowing that will guide you in choosing what is right in every circumstance. Peace, my son, is the Cherokee mission in life. A man or woman who has peace inside has everything. A man or woman who is pulled apart by the war inside him or her has nothing. How you choose to interact with the opposing forces within you will determine your life. Starve one or the other, or guide them both. This is the original story of the two wolves. Spread the message.
I really like that. And that really completes it for me. How many times have you thought when you aren't necessarily feeling super great and you try to squish it down? The thing is, it doesn't go anywhere. It just ends up residing in your body somewhere. But to honor all aspects of who you are and how you're feeling is the way to bring balance and harmony. And then when you bring balance and harmony to yourself, you bring it to the world too. So the true self is good, wise, and powerful. Personal power guided by our inner wisdom is actually healthy power, and it's never at the expense of someone else. So let's commit to helping others connect with their core self. Then they're less likely to try and use their power in hurtful ways. I believe that to be true. Inner wisdom provides guidance for thinking about power in beneficial ways. The core self is good, wise, powerful, never at the expense of someone else. Never at the expense of someone else. Because we are interconnected. We use our power. Our use of the power affects others, and we are responsible for the impact of our use of our power. We desire to be in good relationships with others. Shifting power over for power with opens us to experience the joy of good relationships with others. We all have gifts, and we all have opportunities to experience healthy power as we express our gifts. Everything we need is already here within us, both individually and collectively. Our healthy personal power is enough. We are holistic. Our experience is mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual. Let's create balance in each of them. And spiritual practices can help us to be who we really are, help us become more aware of our feelings around power. Awareness helps us make choices and assist others in making choices that fulfill our natural human need for personal power in ways that help others. A healthy community is power with decisions made by consensus that does not privilege any point of view or position. And I know that as the board of directors here at Unity Spiritual Center, if we're not all in agreement, then we don't move forward. It's not a 50% or 60% and the decision moves forward. It has to be everyone, or else it's not the right decision to make. And I'd like to live my life that way, and that's my aim. So would you be willing to say this with me as we close? Today I create an intentional space to reveal everyone's true self. I am a visible example of our interconnectedness. And a beautiful song by Harold Payne to land this idea, Love Wins.
You turn the news on, you get your blues on from all the negativity. It's hard to wrap yourself around what's going down on TV. You can stress it, second guess it, you can even think your way too hard. Use conversation from your head to your heart. Sometimes it's a matter of just letting go and holding on to the one thing we know. Love wins, love wins. That's where the circle of life begins. It's the one simple lesson we're learning again and again. Love wins. long as we find a way to get along with one another. We can agree to disagree, or maybe even realize, see another point of view when you look from someone else's eyes. Sometimes it's a matter of just letting go and holding on to the one thing we know. Love wins, love wins. That's where the circle of life begins. It's the one simple lesson we're learning again and again. Love wins whenever you give it a chance. It is the one hope that everyone has to live a better world for us all. Love wins, love wins. That's where the circle of life begins. It's the one simple lesson we're learning again and again. Love wins. That's where it all begins. Love wins. We learn it again and love wins. That's where it all begins. Love wins. We learn it again and again. Love is the lesson. That's where it all begins. Love is the lesson. We learn it again and again. Love is the lesson. In the moment. That's where it all begins. Love is the lesson. We learn it again and again. Love is the lesson.
Thanks, Emilio. And this was another great message. So thanks, and very inspiring as usual. Now, what was your takeaway today? I just love that question. For me, right, there's a few things. I liked the video about the two wolves. Great message there. And I, for myself, banish struggle from my vocabulary. Think opportunities, solutions instead of struggle. Okay. Now let's take a moment to engage in the spiritual practice of conscious giving. Thank you for supporting and giving to the work of this Unity community. There are envelopes on the back of the chairs, or again, you can go green by giving on your website or by e-transfer to admin@unityspiritualcenter.com. Now, let's bless these gifts together with this blessing. Divine love that I am blesses all I give and all I receive.
Okay, this is the wordy words. Something great has happened, love has taken hold and it won't let go of us now. Something here is calling us forward, upward motion with drops in one ocean. Roll on. Will you rise up with me today? Lift up your voice and boldly say, we are the ones we've been waiting for. Live the dream of your highest calling. Be the hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Share your gifts with the world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's a moment for our greatness. Let's dance together now. Yeah. Every day's a chance you can do something amazing and feel your passion blazing sunshine. Paint with every vision and dance in new directions. Explode to your heights in your mind. I will rise up with you today. Lift up my voice and boldly say, we are the ones we've been waiting for. Live the dream of your highest calling. Be the hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Share your gifts with the world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's a moment for our greatness. Let's stand together now. One beat, one voice, one heart, one word, one beat, one voice, one heart, one word, one beat, one voice, one heart, one word. Your highest calling, be the hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Share your gifts with the world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's a moment for our greatness. Let's stand together. Live the dream of your highest calling, be the hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Share your gifts with the world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's a moment for our greatness. Let's stand together now. One breeze, one voice, one word. One breeze, one voice, one heart, one word. Everybody stand together. Everybody, let's stand together now. Woo!
Thanks, Emilio. I don't see how you can do that. Remember, we are here to pray with you. There are prayer requests form on the back of the chairs. If you are watching online, please drop your prayer request in the comment section below the video, or again, you can send an email to prayer@unityspiritualcenter.com.
So join with me in this prayer. This was written by a Unity minister quite a number of years ago, James Dillett Freeman. And you can interject another word like creator or source if you don't like to use the word God, whatever works for you. But say this with me if that's comfortable. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And today was supposed to be Baked Potato Day, which is the third Sunday of every month, but our oven stopped working on Friday. So my husband, Reverend Randy, has made a different plan, and we have some kind of rices, and if you brought ingredients to put on potatoes, you can put it on the rice. So that will be a meal that we'll be sharing together after the service. And for those of you at home, yum, yum, yum. So let's end with this beautiful song, Room at the Table, with Carrie Newcomer, because there is room at our table, always.
our hearts not be hard. To those living on the margins, there is room at the table for everyone. This is where it all begins. This is how we gather in. There is room at the table for everyone. Too long we have wandered, burdened and undone. There is room at the table for everyone. Let us sing the new world in. This is how it all begins. There is room at the table for everyone. There is room for us all, and no gift is too small. There is room at the table for everyone. There's enough if we share. Come and pull up a chair. There is room at the table for everyone. No matter who you are, no matter where you're from, there is room at the table for everyone. Here and now we can be the beloved community. There is room at the table for everyone. There is room for us all, and no gift is too small. There is room at the table for everyone. There's enough if we share. Come and pull up a chair. There is room at the table for everyone. There is room for us all, and no gift is too small. There is room at the table for everyone. There's enough if we share. Come and pull up a chair. There is room at the table for everyone. Let our hearts not be hardened to those living on the margins. There is room at the table for everyone. Let us sing the new world in. This is how it all begins. There is room at the table for everyone. No matter who you are, no matter where you're from, there is room at the table for everyone. Here and now we can be the beloved community. There is room at the table for everyone. For everyone. For everyone.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And please stay and have lunch. We're going to have it in the conference room because there's a little more room there. It's at the end of the hall. And we'll see you next week. And remember, I love you. I love you.
Did you?